Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
KTLK AM 1150. You're listening to Nelson Radio. I'm Nelson, and I'm here with the co-host extraordinaire, Marco Ruffo, out of Pacific Palisades with Prudential. How you doing, Marco?
Very good, Nelson. I always love your intros. They're so polite and kind. And
yeah, nothing like I am in person, right?
Well, you know.
This is the thing, when you get on radio, it's a little bit guarded. For those of you listening out there, I really do have this, well, as Marco would say, this caustic sarcasm, and I don't feel equipped to use it against you. I think that you'd cut me off at the knees or something.
You have very good insight there.
Yeah,
very good insight.
Go right to your Italian roots. I'm just missing one day. So we got a great show coming up. With this show, we're taking a look at innovators. And last week we took a look at an acronym, SFGB, Stare Forward, Glance Back. And that's really, I think, this is a follow-up to that, where we need to take a look at what's around the corner. And our guests today are going to be focusing on that in terms of some of the things that are their own innovations and some of the things that they're bringing to our marketplace. And then, obviously, we're going to take a look as well. A lot of political attention in the news this week with our President Obama talking about housing reform and at the global level talking about the dismantling of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac may have no impact to our homeowners, the housing market. I don't know.
But definitely serious topics for a lot of people in our communities.
And then we're going to have Rick Kurtz come on board from Dynamic Resources, having trained over 500,000 real estate agents across the U.S. I mean, really one of the founding members of our marketplace on his practices and ways to excel in the industry. And then, of course, we're going to be with our Street Noise guests, Kelly Johnson and Brian Chu. Kelly from the law offices of Kelly S. Johnson and Brian Chu from O.C. Wilson Trust, taking a look at what's happening in their markets. In fact, we're going to open up with Kelly Johnson. Are you with us, Kelly?
I sure am, Nelson. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on the show. If you have any questions as we go through our program, reach out to us. You can reach any of our guests. They're all qualified professionals as a part of Nelson Radio's Affinity Network. 888-888-2136. I'm being told to say that number so slow. To me, it's 888-888-2136. How hard can it be? But I'm going to try and slow that down. 888-888-2136 or at nelsonradio.com. Kelly, you're scrambling here with perhaps a heavy volume of bankruptcy activity. And I wanted to ask you that question. As we look at innovators, do you find a creative authority with your bankruptcy law practice in terms of the right way to structure those filings?
Well, exactly, Nelson. A lot of times, especially nowadays with the dynamic real estate industry, a lot of times we're utilizing the bankruptcy process to quite often either retain real estate or put homeowners in a position to deal with their lender on a more even basis to try to maybe modify the terms of the loan. So, as you know, the lenders over the last couple of years have been steamrolling over a lot of the homeowners. There's been lawsuits, there's been federal claims, state claims, etc. So what I try to do is keep people in their homes and utilize what we can to combat these giants in the industry.
So, Kelly, let me ask you, this is Marco Ruffo here. So you're saying that the threatening approach is more likely to get a response than not. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you need to defend yourself and protect yourself because, 3, 4, 5 years ago, as many people were losing their homes, they didn't understand why. They didn't think they did anything wrong. But yet, at that point, everyone had not realized that the lenders were kind of not playing a fair game, so to speak. So you really needed to do something to protect yourself so that you're not taken advantage of and lose your home unnecessarily.
Let me ask you something, though. Haven't you seen a steep decline in the foreclosure process and also bankruptcy?
Well, not necessarily. Unfortunately, it's still there. And I just read something the other day that even though the lenders reached this federal settlement, they're supposed to be doing things a certain way. They're now back somewhat to their old practices, and based on the settlement, unfortunately, they're able to do these things that previously were prohibited. So I'm still kind of scratching my head, and consumers and homeowners and borrowers are looking at ways to protect themselves in this changing environment.
Amazing.
Good insights. Kelly, thanks for being with us. That's Kelly Johnson, the law offices of Kelly S. Johnson. And, of course, you can reach Kelly with any of your real estate questions by getting a hold of us through nelsonradio.com. Let's jump over to Brian Chu at O.C. Wills and Trust Attorneys. So, Brian, thanks for being with us. And I had this question for you. With your business practice, your law practice, and your working in the estate planning sector, I call it the distraction of the immediate. I think most, Marco, feel like, yeah, I need an estate plan. I need to protect my family, have a vision, a roadmap for the assets when something happens.
You couldn't be more right about that, Nelson, but I got to tell you, the majority of people at the end of the day don't go follow through. They just don't follow through.
So with that, the distraction of the immediate, Brian, what are you doing to cattle prod these people into paying attention to things that they need to pay attention to?
Well, Nelson and Mark, I think the biggest thing is just letting them know what could happen if they don't make a decision, if they don't move forward. What mess can be left behind for their children or the people they love. Whether it be the government deciding who's going to take care of their kids, the government deciding who's going to get their funds, and as part of that process, if they don't make these decisions, who's going to make those decisions, and how much are they going to have to pay the attorney to make sure that these decisions are made properly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Brian, quickly, with the changes that we're seeing, obviously Obama's talking about housing reform. Our rule book and guidelines in the lending industry seems to be changing week to week. Is there that kind of reformation and change in estate planning?
I mean, there's more minor changes in estate planning. I mean, for the most part, most of us don't have to worry about estate taxes because the current exemption is $5 million. But for most of the, that own a home and have kids, some of the things that, especially even if you've had the foresight to do your estate planning, is making sure that your estate plan is up to date and it does reflect the most recent changes in the laws. And as an example, a lot of my clients, or even not my clients, people that bring me existing trusts, they have provisions in there that make the trust very cumbersome upon one of the spouses passing, and because of recent changes in the law, that cumbersomeness doesn't have to be in the trust anymore.
So not only do you have the estate plan that you need, but it needs to be maintained on a periodic
reviewed,
basis.
And gone over. Wow,
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, Brian. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
That's Brian Chu, O.C. Wills and Trust. This segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured, worry-free and on-time transportation services. Marco, they're in the limousine business, they're in the luxury bus business, but they also specialize in the corporate sector, transportation to and from the airports and events, and doesn't necessarily need to be a limo. So they're a great asset to rely on, especially in this day and age where DUI activity is up.
Oh, boy.
A lot of thirsty people out there. Best Chauffeured. You can reach us anytime. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. The most complicated number in the world. We'll be right back.
Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations. NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.